Chapter 331, Advancement to Rank 4. Wei Xian knew she was pregnant from her own recent bodily reactions. The new life in her womb gave her great hope. This was her greatest secret, and she had never expected that just a few days later, an outsider would expose it directly. How could this not shock her? How could she not panic? In Fang Yuan's previous life, it was Wei Xian who helped Shang Pu Lao to win against Shang Qiu and become the most popular candidate for young clan leader's position at one time. However, in the great battle between righteous and demonic, Wei Xian and Wei Shenjing secretly contacted each other, and helped Wu clan to scheme against Shang clan, eradicating Wei clan in one fell swoop and taking revenge for the murder of her husband. After this was revealed, Wei Xian gained fame for being the first person to make Shang Yanfei suffer a loss. Shang Pu Lao was thus implicated and banished from the clan, having a miserable end. One could say both his success and defeat were due to Wei Xian. Wei Xian's talent was outstanding and had now fallen into Fang Yuan's hand. Controlling her and making her work for Xianxia was not a difficult thing for Fang Yuan. Wei Xian, you don't need to be afraid. As long as you do your best to help Xianxia, I won't do anything to you. I might even help you raise the child in your womb properly. Also, I advise you to not go searching for your younger brother Wei Shenjing for some time. He has already been recruited by Wu clan now and is being monitored all the time. If you don't believe me, you are welcome to find out for yourself. Fang Yuan stroked his fingers. He was sitting on the stone chair with his back straight, and his tone gave a feeling that everything was in the palm of his hand. Wei Xian was completely dominated by his attitude. The expression on her face as she kneeled on the ground changed. She opened her mouth several times as if to say something, but finally chose to keep quiet. In the end, she deeply bowed her head towards Fang Yuan, her forehead touched the ground and she spoke in a respectful tone, "I." However, she had just opened her mouth when she was interrupted by Fang Yuan. "No need to say anything else, there is no point. You and your clansman's performance will be the best answer. You can leave now." Fang Yuan waved his hand. Wei Xian could only leave. Fang Yuan sat inside the pavilion without getting up for some time. He watched Wei Xian's figure as it gradually vanished within the rows of green trees. He knew that after this talk, she would assist Xianxia with all her strength. After all, in his previous life, Shang Pu Lao also took advantage of the child in her womb to entice her into fully helping him. Cold wind blew. Fang Yuan gazed at the lake surface. The shimmering lake was reflected in his abyss-like dark eyes. He was silent. Now, Xianxia has the Wei clansmen to act as her middle and lower foundation. With Wei Xian, she can organize female guards and form a powerful and stable armed force. There are also the 3 Xiong brothers who will be her generals. And she has her personal servant Xiao Dai and Xiao Lan as trustworthy assistants. With this, the general framework of her force has been constructed. It is enough to deal with this young master competition. But if we can recruit Zhou Quan and make him the steward, this young master's position will definitely be in the bag. Wei Xian, Xiong clan's 3 brothers, Xiao Dai, Xiao Lan are all generals while Zhou Quan will be the commander. Fang Yuan was very clear that with the help of Zhou Quan, who had plentiful experience and outstanding talent, Xianxia would definitely win the young master's position, and it would even be more stable. Even if Xianxia did not work hard, with Zhou Quan's help, her forces would become firmer and slowly increase to an enormous size. Only Zhou Quan could keep these subordinates of Xianxia under check. Right now, Xianxia could not awe these talents. After all, she was still too young, her aptitude was not high and her cultivation was not enough. In the Gu Master world, rules are cruel and real. The first thing one looks at is strength. The rest are supplementary. However, subduing Zhou Quan will not be so easy. Especially now that the rumors of Xianxia's failure in recruiting Zhou Quan over a dozen times had spread and were given a vivid description. Fang Yuan knew someone was secretly doing this to cause trouble and strike at Xianxia's reputation. But although Fang Yuan knew it, he did not stop it. The timing was still not ripe yet and he already had a plan. Several days later, at night, in a secret room of Nanqiu Garden. Swish swish swish. Waves surged in the aperture and thousands of white-silver snowflakes swirled up. Under Fang Yuan's will, the peak stage rank 3 primeval essence rushed at the aperture walls. Like the prancing of 10,000 beasts or the movement of the galaxy, the 90% primeval sea swept through everything with a force majestic and boundless, far above middle and lower grade aptitudes. Primeval essence continuously cleansed the aperture walls. The cleansing slowly and quietly caused a hidden change in Fang Yuan's aperture walls. When this change accumulates to a certain degree, it would cause a qualitative transformation and cause his cultivation to break through rapidly to another realm. This realm was rank 4. Fang Yuan used Relic Gu to advance to rank 3 peak stage. And then with the help of Bai Ning Bing and Bone Flesh Unity Gu, his cultivation had been making rapid progress. Every day, he made such progress that it was beyond normal people's imagination. Rank 4, I am only a step away. This sensation was becoming more and more intense in Fang Yuan's heart. However, the surface of the primeval sea continued to decrease. Snow-silver primeval essence violently attacked the borders of rank 4 realm, consuming huge amounts of primeval essence. 90% primeval sea was of no help and the aperture walls were already cleansed to sparkling pure, but there was no change. Although rank 4 was only a step away, this step was like a deep gully which was very difficult to cross. No one knew how many Gu masters were stumped at the border between rank 3 and rank 4 and how many grand ambitions were stifled. As Fang Yuan looked at the empty aperture, right at that instant, a stream of yellow-gold waterfall fell down from the aperture. This came from outside world, it was reinforcements by Bai Ning Bing through Bone Flesh Unity Gu. Although it was only rank 4 initial stage light gold primeval essence, but the moment it appeared, Fang Yuan's aperture trembled. Under Fang Yuan's will, the waterfall-like primeval essence turned into a tidal wave and charged towards the aperture walls, following the steps of the snow-silver primeval essence. All the accumulation before this burst out at this moment. Crack. Following a soft sound, tiny cracks started to appear on the aperture walls. Dazzling white light burst out of the cracks. The cracks continued to enlarge and the crystal walls started to collapse like the collapse of an iceberg. Pieces started falling towards the bottom of the primeval sea and turned into nothingness. 2 whole hours later, under Bai Ning Bing's unceasing support of primeval essence, this transformation ended. The crystal walls were no more to be seen, replaced by a layer of thin light membrane. However, this white light was even more dazzling and shone upon the whole aperture. A drop of light gold primeval essence floated up from the bottom of the sea. Yellow gold primeval essence. Fang Yuan advanced into rank 4 realm. I have finally reached rank 4. With just 2 to 3 years in Shang Clan City, I made such huge progress. Fang Yuan slowly opened his eyes, bright, sharp light flashed through them and drew a ray of lightning through the dark secret room. He was pleased with this result. To be able to advance to rank for using a short period of 2 to 3 years, he had to first give credit to Bone Flesh Unity Gu, Bai Ning Bing and then the favorable environment of Shang Clan City. At the same time, the credit also went to his plentiful experience from his previous life and his own efforts. Advancing to rank 4 meant stepping into a whole new world. In the mortal world, rank 1 and 2 were only low levels, rank 3 was middle level, while rank 4 and 5 were the high levels. Elders of many clans were all at rank 4 realm. If Guyu Mountain still existed, Fang Yuan could now fight for the clan leader's position. Whether it were southern border, central continent or other places, rank 4 cultivation was enough to let a Gu master roam everywhere. Gu masters with rank 4 cultivation were a force to reckon with. Many clans only had 1 or 2 rank 4 Gu masters. After reaching this stage, Fang Yuan could be said to have grown and exceeded most Gu masters. Since rebirth, my cultivation has now reached rank 4. Compared to my previous life, this speed is faster by countless times. By taking a step first and then moving step by step, I have accumulated my advantage continuously and reached today's accomplishment. All these were due to the help of my previous life's experience. All thanks to Spring-Autumn Cicada. Fang Yuan was more and more aware of how formidable the rank 6 Gu Spring-Autumn Cicada was. It was because of Spring-Autumn Cicada that he could have another chance. However, although I have advanced to rank 4, Spring-Autumn Cicada's recovery speed is getting faster as well. The pressure it is exerting on the aperture is also becoming bigger. Rank 4 is a brand new starting point. I can use many more rank 4 Gu with the light gold primeval essence. Next, I need to refine charging crash Gu. But before this, I still have something I need to do. 4th Inner City. This is the manor Zhou Quan is in charge of. Fang Yuan stood inside a courtyard with hands behind him and his tone indifferent. Instantly, he got the answer from a subordinate, "Yes, Lord Fang Zheng." Right now, standing behind Fang Yuan were Bai Ningbing, Xiao Dai, Xiong brothers along with Wei De Xian and her people who had recovered some of their strength after refining some Gu just recently. It is this place. Missy and I came here so many times, but we were given cold shoulder every time. Xiao Dai added in angrily from the side. "Lord, if you wish to see my master, please pass us your visiting letter. My master is currently taking an afternoon nap." The doorboy walked over and said with an arrogant. He recognized Xiao Dai and understood these were Xianxia's people. Afternoon nap. Visiting letter. He. Fang Yuan laughed coldly before his expression immediately turned dark. He waved his hand, "Go, smash the door." He. Everyone was stupefied for a while, as the 3 Xiong brothers took the lead and walked forward with large strides. "You, what are you trying to do?" The doorboy was feeling extreme panicked and could not help but shout. "You puny thing dares to block our way, get lost." Xiong Hua gave an evil grin and kicked, sending the doorboy flying. Bang! Xiong Tu used his brute force to forcefully smash the large manor door. "What are you doing?" Some servants ran over at the commotion, but with one look at the group of fiendish Gu masters, they stood still in terror. Crash bang crash bang. Slam slam. Fang Yuan's group intruded Zhou Quan's manor and starting charging around violently, smashing everything they saw and beating people up. Xiong Feng even took liberties with some pretty-looking servants. The manor was in chaos. Some servants ran around panicking and in fear while some cried, screaming for help and forgiveness. Chapter 332, Zhou Quan's Shock. "What do we do, master?" The steward frantically ran towards Zhou Quan, asking for instructions. Zhou Quan was shocked awake earlier, seeing that Fang Yuan created a din in his house. He was livid. This Fang Zheng is completely lawless. He actually dared to use force in Shang Clan City. Wait, this aura, rank 4, oh god, how old is he? He advanced to rank 4 already. Zhou Quan observed secretly, but suddenly his eyes opened wide, as he was completely stunned. He was once a rank 4 Gu master, the leader of a clan. But he only reached rank 4 realm when he was near 50 years old. Fang Yuan's age was well known in the battle stage, he was only 20. What godly talent was this? Zhou Quan felt lamentation and jealousy, anger and helplessness. Fang Zheng also advanced to rank 4, he is a true rank 4 Gu master. He also has the purple thorn token, and has good relationships with Xianxia and Shang Chaofeng. He is too stubborn, previously he caused trouble in the slave market, but was only fined 49 primeval stones. He has a bright future ahead, he is likely to reach rank 5. According to the rumors, even Shang Yanfei thinks highly of him, and now the entire Shang clan is turning a blind eye to his actions. How can I compete with him? But, if I can't afford to offend him, can't I just hide? Thinking of this, Zhou Quan sighed, saying to his old steward, quickly pack our things, we're going to hide in the shop. They are coming full force at us, we have to avoid them during this period. Yes, master. The old steward quickly went to pack up. A moment later, the gang flipped the manor upside down, the place which was elegant and quiet had become a war zone. Lord, we have searched, we did not find Zhou Quan. Xiong Tu reported. He must have snuck out from the back door. He couldn't have gone too far, he's probably hiding in the shop. But all these are within my expectations, I purposely left the back door intact, hee. Fang Yuan chuckled. Zhou Quan thought Fang Yuan would respect Shang clan and stop making trouble. But who was Fang Yuan? In his heart, even the supersized Shang clan was just a slightly larger stepping stone for his ambitions. Have you prepared what I instructed you to do? Fang Yuan turned around, asking Wei Da Xian. Wei Da Xian quickly responded, it has been prepared. Very good. Fang Yuan waved his hand, let's go. The gang left the manor, and immediately caused a commotion. Shang Clan City had always been very peaceful and safe. Fang Yuan barging into someone's home and messing it up had already attracted a lot of attention. Moreover, Fang Yuan instructed Wei Da Xian to circulate news about this matter, thus, it became an even more sensational story in the city. Numerous passers-by were attracted towards the scene. Go! Fang Yuan led the way, bringing his followers as he roamed the streets, purposely keeping a high profile. Along the way, the number of passers-by increased, crowding until the road was packed with people. Master, that Fang Zheng is here again. The old steward reported frightenedly. No need to worry, this shop is owned by Shang clan, he wouldn't have the guts to barge in here. Zhou Quan stroked his beard, calming his steward. Before his words were finished, he heard a loud sound. Fang Yuan had sent the door of the shop flying with a kick in front of everyone, and took large steps into the shop. Stop there. A group of Shang clan city guards walked out with a grim expression. Fang Yuan and gang were so noisy, the city guards were informed long ago. This is a Shang clan shop, you cannot enter by force. This is violating Shang clan city rules. The guard leader shouted as he sweated buckets. He was on duty today, if he did not speak out, Shang clan city will pursue his irresponsibility later. But Fang Yuan ignored him completely, walking in without heeding a word. The others followed suit. Bai Ningbing stayed outside, looking coldly at the city guard leader, emitting her rank 4 aura, we are going in now, so what? Can you stop us? This rank 2 leader's heart was palpitating intensely. He gulped, as he responded with a pale expression, even if I cannot stop you, we have to try. This is Shang Clan City, that is our responsibility. You have to know, Lord Fang Zheng's actions had violated Shang Clan City's rules, Chapter 3 Article 25. We know, a fine right. Bai Ningbing raised her eyebrows, as she tossed a bag of primeval stones to the leader. There are 500 primeval stones inside, keep the change. We have to continue thrashing the place later, this is an advance payment. After saying that, Bai Ningbing entered the shop as well. The leader stood frozen on the spot, as he held that heavy bag of primeval stones, he was completely stunned by Bai Ningbing's aura. Too arrogant, way too arrogant. The passers-by were roaring. I've never seen anyone acting so lawlessly in Xianxia City. Fang Zheng and Bai Ningbing are rank for Gu masters, they have the ability. They even have the purple thorn token backing them, who can imitate them. Even if I have the strength, I wouldn't dare to. They are simply too daring. Doing this in broad daylight, really. As some people discussed, more of the spectators were just dumbfounded. Some wanted to enter the shop to watch the show, but they were either blocked outside by Fang Yuan's men, or chased away by the city guards. Leader, do we go in? A city guard asked softly. Go in for what? To let them throw primeval stones at us. The leader screamed, wait for Lord Elder to come and settle this himself. Back to Fang Yuan, who was entering the shop. Fang Zheng, what are you trying to do? Barging into a Shang clan shop by force, do you still want to stay in Shang clan city? Zhou Quan's face was grim as he tried to suppress Fang Yuan's dominance using the name of Shang clan. Fang Yuan sneered, looking at Zhou Quan in disdain, old man, weren't you taking a nap at home? Why are you hiding here? We are both smart people, let's not beat about the bush, I am here for you. You have two choices now, submit to me, or die. Choose now. He. Young man, I would advise you to stop your arrogance. Zhou Quan squeezed out a smile, his prideful character taking over, refusing to lower his head. You want to harm me, can't you see where we are right now? Fang Yuan laughed loudly. Why are you laughing? Zhou Quan's face was extremely ugly as he questioned. You've lived for so many years, your foresight is getting worse. Can't you see, I am different from Xianxia? Never mind, I shall show you mercy and give you a chance to fully understand me. Fang Yuan said, suddenly shouting and striking. Zhou Quan did not expect Fang Yuan to be so uncontrollable. After being assaulted, he was immediately sent sprawling on the ground and nearly fainted. But he still had his rich experience, quickly getting up and engaging Fang Yuan in battle. Bam bam bam. The sound of battle spread outside. The crowd standing outside the shop stirred. They fought. He really attacked, this Fang Zheng's guts are made of steel, he is too crazy. Zhou Quan is so unlucky to have met him. Everyone sighed, no one thought Zhou Quan would win. They were right. The battle in the shop quickly ended. Zhou Quan was not Fang Yuan's match at all. He still had some hidden injuries, even though he was rank 3 peak stage, against the overbearing Fang Yuan, there was no way he could win. The shop was thrashed during the fight, almost half the place was destroyed. After the smoke dispersed, everyone saw Zhou Quan sprawled on the ground, bleeding and having bone fractures, immobilized. Fang Yuan was standing on the ground, as he stepped on Zhou Quan's head, giving off a dominating aura. Lord Fang Zheng, what have you done? 3 Shang clan elders came together, shouting. Where are your eyes? Can't you tell from looking? I'm teaching people a lesson. Fang Yuan rolled his eyes, replying loudly. The crowd laughed. Lord Fang Zheng, we are not here for jokes. This matter is too severe, do you know the consequences? The clan elders said solemnly. Zhou Quan, who was trampled by Fang Yuan, sneered, as blood flowed out of his open mouth. Fang Zheng was too rash. He made the matter too severe. How is he going to get out of it this time? Although Fang Zheng is a talent, he is after all, not a Shang clansman. Under everyone's gaze, Fang Yuan laughed. Of course I know the consequences. Not only that, I also know what's the consequences of killing a person. Saying so, he took out the purple thorn token. Elders, if I murder in Shang clan city, it would ruin Shang clan's peace. According to the rules, I will lose the purple thorn token, is that right? Fang Yuan questioned. Yes. An elder immediately answered. After getting a clear answer, Fang Yuan's lips curled up as he showed a callous smile. He exerted strength, and crushed the purple thorn token into powder. This action caused the crowd to scream in shock, as the elder's pupils shrunk. Fang Zheng destroyed the purple thorn token. That is a purple thorn token, he destroyed it, what a huge waste. Fang Zheng abandoned even the purple thorn token, he clearly wants Zhou Quan's life. Zhou Quan is too arrogant, rejecting Xianxia's invitation so many times. He angered Fang Zheng because of this, what bad luck. Seeing the fragments of the purple thorn token land on the ground, even hitting his own face, Zhou Quan's smile froze. This was a purple thorn token. Fang Zheng destroyed even his purple thorn token, he wants my life. Is he insane? Zhou Quan was completely horrified by Fang Yuan's madness, recklessness and insanity. Chapter 333, Leaving Shang Clan City. He had assumed Fang Yuan was trying to teach him a lesson. But he did not expect Fang Yuan to have killing intent, even willingly giving up the precious purple thorn token. Just because of me, you acted so ruthlessly, was it worth it? Feeling Fang Yuan's determination, Zhou Quan wanted to cry. He was a normal person. He also feared death. If not, after Zhou clan was wiped out, and he became alone and injured, he would have died already. But he lived. The desire to live was every living being's instinct. He rejected Xianxia because he looked down on her. He was a proud man, once the leader of a clan, how could he submit to a weak and powerless girl like her? But he did not think the matter would escalate to this extent. Now, he was facing the threat of death. Fang Yuan's insanity was something he did not expect. Had I known this would happen, I would have accepted her invitation. To think it would end up like this. Zhou Quan felt intense regret. Although he was prideful, he was not stupid. Survival and pride, he obviously chose the former. If not, he would not have stayed alive like a beaten dog for all these years. That's right, I understand. My act of rejecting Xianxia was a heavy hit on her reputation. Fang Zheng is her greatest supporter, thus he has to eliminate me. Shang Yifan had misled me. Feeling Fang Yuan's intense killing intent, Zhou Quan quickly thought of the reason. With his intelligence, with just a little analysis, he understood that the rumors earlier were all caused by Shang Yifan. Back then, he was still gleeful and smug. These rumors were the best excuse for him to reject Xianxia. At the same time, he could feel that Shang Yifan valued him greatly from these rumors. In the worst case, he could go to Shang Yifan. Whether it was Shang Yifan or Xianxia had no difference to him. As long as he was willing to help, he could make them young master easily. This was Zhou Quan's confidence. But now he was beyond regretful. Because of this rumor, Fang Yuan wanted to kill him. It was already too late to go to Shang Yifan. Fang Yuan was a maniac, he did not follow the rules. Zhou Quan had completely screwed up this time. Zhou Quan sprawled on the ground, his bones hurting from the battle, as he was immobilized by Fang Yuan's leg on his face. He wanted to open his mouth and beg for mercy. But he could not say it. There are so many people watching, if I beg in public, my reputation will be tarnished. But if I don't, my life will be forfeited. Character decides fate. At the crucial moment, Zhou Quan's arrogance was still influencing him. The saying goes, a wise man submits to circumstances. Zhou Quan, since you cannot understand your circumstance, you are no wise man. I wasted a purple thorn token to kill you, feel honored. Now die. Fang Yuan sneered as he exerted force on his leg. Zhou Quan felt an intense pressure on him, he finally abandoned all hesitation and begged. But because Fang Yuan was using so much force, his cheeks were squeezed together, he wanted to speak, but could not. Zhou Quan was panicking. Wait, I don't want to die, I want to beg, I want to surrender, let me speak. He screamed in his heart, at the same time, he waved his limbs around frantically. He grabbed Fang Yuan's leg, but Fang Yuan's body was as tough as steel, not even moving an inch. I'm dead meat. Just as Zhou Quan was despairing, he heard a familiar voice. Brother He Tu, have mercy on him. Xianxia rushed to the scene. Xianxia, it seems you still found out in the end. I know you treasure talents, but you don't have to beg for his sake. Such a person deserves death. Fang Yuan replied coldly, but stopped exerting force on his leg. No, brother He Tu, I have to speak. Xianxia was very determined. She continued, you did not spend much time with Sir Zhou Quan, I know him better. Sir Zhou had always been adamant on rebuilding Zhou clan. He bore a heavy weight on his shoulders, he is a person with noble aspirations in his heart. He had once told me with great pain that he could not forget his former clansmen. Before his wife passed away, she told him to rebuild their home. These years, he carried a heavy burden and have been working hard for it. He has his grievances. Is that so? Fang Yuan reduced the strength he placed on his leg, his expression changing. Why don't I remember ever tell you that? Zhou Quan felt weird, when his wife died, he was not even at the scene. But he immediately understood, this was an act Xianxia was putting on with Fang Yuan. Actually, Fang Yuan and Xianxia were still trying to recruit him. They used Shang clan as the stage and acted out a good show. Her words earlier were his ticket out of this mess. It not only portrayed Xianxia's kindness and love for talented people, it also gave him a way out of this predicament. What a great scheme indeed. I am the Zhou clan leader, but today I lost to these youngsters. Truly, the new generation is replacing the old. Zhou Quan gritted his teeth, sighing helplessly. He felt anger, hatred, but also grief and helplessness. So that's it. To think that Sir Zhou was such a man with aspirations. But you are too stupid, assisting Xianxia does not clash with your aspirations of rebuilding your home. You are not afraid of death because of your goals, I am impressed by you. But do you know, dying is easy, but enduring shame and staying alive for your ideals, moving forward with the pressure on you, that is true courage. Fang Yuan said loudly. Zhou Quan heard this, and knew that this was an opportunity Fang Yuan was giving him. This was most likely the last one as well. If he does not accept it, his life would be over, there are no more chances left for him. Thinking so, this old man said, sigh. A new generation breeds new geniuses, after listening to what you both have said, I am greatly enlightened. Fang Yuan loosened his leg. Xianxia was overjoyed, helping Zhou Quan up. Zhou Quan endured the pain on his body, slowly getting up, then paying respects to Xianxia, Zhou Quan greets Lady Xinci. What did you say? Zhou Quan acknowledged that lass as his lord. In the study room, Shang Yifan heard this and froze in shock. That is impossible. I know Zhou Quan's personality, even back then when Xianxia was in charge, and controlled all the shops, he could not recruit him. What abilities does this Shang Xinci have, to manage to gain his loyalty? Shang Yifan reacted and shouted in astonishment. This really happened. Old Zhang sighed. Shang Xinci is still young, she naturally doesn't possess the ability. But she has Fang Zheng and Bai Ning Bing with her. To speak the truth, I underestimated Fang Zheng. To think that he is so scheming under that straightforward facade, he purposely made the matter impossible to resolve, and forced Zhou Quan to submit to her. If Zhou Quan did not submit, Fang Zheng would have killed him on the spot. Right now, the entire shop district is talking about the matter. There are rumors everywhere, saying that Zhou Quan had been living while enduring humiliation and shame, in order to rebuild his clan. After being enlightened by Fang Zheng, he decided to join Shang Xinci, who had a love for talents. Shang Xinci's reputation has surged to a peak now. Shang Yifan heard that enraged. That means all the effort we wasted earlier, spreading rumors around, has instead helped them out instead? Liar, they are all liars. All these rumors must be sent out by them. How could there be such a touching story? Young Master Yifan, calm down, the competition is not over yet. Although Shang Xinci has some people now, they might not truly be loyal to her. Now, we still have Madam's help, there is still a high chance of winning. Old Zhang analyzed calmly. As he advised, Shang Yifan's emotions went back to normal. He gritted his teeth, his eyes shining with an ominous light. You are right, building a force takes a lot of time. All these people she recruited were either threatened or forced, how could she gain their loyalty? Next, I will stir up discord among them, and then poach them over with money. I'm sure it'll work. With Shang Xinci in charge, Fang and Bai as guardians, Zhou Quan assisting, and the cooperation of Wei De Xin and Xiong clan brothers, the intel business in the battle stage was finally established. As Shang Xinci predicted, once the business started, it caused a lot of commotion and reaction. The first day they started, they recouped their invested capital. On the second day, business was still booming. On the third day, business was still on fire. After 7 days, Shang Xinci's 300,000 primeval stones grew to 440,000. Shang Yifan's schemes did not make any progress. Shang Xinci's force was very united, and everyone could not be wavered. Such unity made the other young masters feel surprised. Shang Yifan was panicking, because he knew, if Shang Xinci continued to develop like this, with her current reputation, she would definitely be the final winner. Thus, he started using his mother's influence to affect Shang clan's higher-ups. Shang Xinci's intel business involved the battle stage, it was a sensitive topic. Shang clan's higher-ups held a meeting and were about to stop Shang Xinci's business from operating, when Shang Yanfei stood up, and swept away all objections, fully supporting his daughter. Shang Yanfei's attitude was the final blow to Shang Yifan. Several months later, Shang Yifan and his mother's forces lost terribly to Shang Xinci. Shang Xinci became one of the 10 young masters succeeding Shang Yizi. But the pain of separation overwhelmed her joy of success. Brother He Tu, are you in such a rush? Shang Xinci walked outside the city, bidding farewell. You have already become a young master, with your talent, you will definitely grow well here. Xinci, there is no banquet that never ends, we will meet again in the future, do not be sad. Fang Yuan consoled, but then changed the topic. Before I go, I have something to remind you. Always maintain a wide vision and look ahead. Above the 10 young master position, there is still the young clan leader Shang Tuahai. Above Shang Tuahai, there are the 5 elders of Shang clan, your father Shang Yanfei, and even the supreme elder of Shang clan. Rest assured brother, back then, when Shang Tuahai became young clan leader, he had the perfect conditions. The other young masters also had favorable relationships when they rose to power. But I have neither of those, I can only invest in human capital, only with talents can I compete with them. Brother, if you need anything, inform me, I will do anything I can to help you. Brilliance shone in Xianxia's eyes. Her words caused Fang and Bai to take a second look at her. As expected of the future Shang clan leader, the female talent that shook the world. Alright, until the next time we meet. Fang Yuan looked deeply at Xianxia before turning around to leave. Bai Ningbing followed behind him immediately. The two, one wearing black and the other white, gradually vanished into the mountainous terrain. Xianxia and her 2 servants stood on the spot, staring at the two's background without moving. Brother He 2, San Cha Mountain is very dangerous, please take care. Xianxia's eyes were watery as she prayed for him in her heart. Chapter 334, Immortal Crane Sect, Fang Zheng. In the world of Gu, the regions were magical. At the east, there was a huge sea, with islands which stood out like chess pieces on a chessboard. It was named Eastern Sea. At the west, there was a huge desert, greenery was extremely rare, only yellow sand could be seen everywhere. It was named Western Desert. At the north, there was a huge grassland, people called it Northern Plains. At the south, there was a mountainous terrain, known as the Southern Border. And in the middle of Eastern Sea, Western Desert, Northern Plains, and Southern Border, there was a central area, called Central Continent. Central Continent was over 50 million kilometers wide, primeval energy was extremely rich in the air, and many sects existed. There were many heroes and conquerors, both demonic and righteous. It was an area with plentiful human and natural resources. Its total strength was the strongest compared to the other 4 regions. In the southern part of Central Continent, among tens of thousands of hills, there was a large mountain above the clouds, piercing through the skies. Feihe Mountain. Feihe Mountain was grand and majestic, floating on top of the sea of cloud. Sunlight penetrated the clouds, and shone on the green forests on the mountain. At the foot of the mountain, waves crashed as the tides rose and fell. Whenever the winds blow, the sea of clouds would experience great movements, the bamboo forests would sway with the wind, as 10,000 cranes sang. Ironbeak flying crane, fire pellet crane, tailwind crane, cloud mist crane, stellar light crane, over 10,000 types of flying cranes flew or rested in the pine trees. It was an overwhelming sight to behold. The 10,000 cranes on Feihe Mountain were famous in Central Continent. As for the Gu masters on the mountain, they were famous throughout the world. This was Immortal Crane Sect. One of the top 10 sects in Central Continent, possessing one of the strongest force in Central Continent. Right now, there was a crucial battle happening in Immortal Crane Sect sparring arena. 2 youngsters, wearing similar clothing, were engaging in a fight. The 2 moved about as they tangled and fought together. Too strong. I cannot imagine, both of them are only around 20 years old. Outside the arena, the spectators were watching this battle intently. Shock, admiration showed on their faces. Senior brother Sun Yuan Hua, he is a veteran expert. The number 1 in the previous 3rd-year small examination, I am not surprised he has such strength. But that junior brother Fang Zheng, it is shocking that he possesses such ability. That's right, he is a black horse in this year's 8-year middle examination. No one expected him to reach the finals. These years, junior brother Fang Zheng had been keeping a low profile, like an ordinary mountain rock. No one cared about him, he was completely not eye-catching. But who would have thought that during this examination, he would soar into the sky and have his name become renowned in Immortal Crane sect? Many people sighed as they showed admiration and jealousy. Fang Zheng kept a grim expression as he had a sharp gaze, fighting evenly with Sun Yuanhua. These years, he had grown taller, his shoulder was broader, and his waist was thicker, he had become more mature and stable. Suddenly, Fang Zheng unleashed a jade-green wind, forcing Sun Yuanhua to retreat. "Senior brother Sun, just admit defeat," he said in an extremely confident tone. "Little junior brother, show me what trump card you have." Sun Yuanhua laughed, replying with the same level of confidence. "All right then." Fang Zheng whistled, as the sound traveled far. Soon, the cranes called back to him. Everyone turned to look, and numerous eyeballs almost popped out as they stared with wide-opened mouths. An ironbeak flying crane group. Oh heavens, so many flying cranes, is this an illusion? How is that possible? This is a myriad beast king. Fang Zheng reaching rank 4 middle stage was already a god-tier talent. But he can actually control a crane group that is almost 10,000 in number. What method is this? Everyone gasped, feeling extremely shocked in their heart, some unable to believe the scene before them. Even several sect elders stood up from their seats in shock. Sun Yuanhua's expression became extremely solemn. Ironbeak flying crane group, coming with an imposing aura, and an advantage in numbers, it gave him great pressure. But he did not intend to give up. His eyes shone with determination. "Junior brother Fang, you are impressive. But can you really control so many flying cranes? I have not lost yet, because I have a crane group too. Come out." Feihe Mountain had tens of thousands of flying cranes, such a territorial advantage was well used by the people in Immortal Crane sect. Fang Zheng had a crane group, but Sun Yuanhua was also a genius in the sect that received ample nurturing, he also hid a crane group secretly. Hearing Sun Yuanhua's command, a group of cranes quickly flew out. This crane group posed a stark contrast to Fang Zheng's ironbeak flying crane group. There was only a few hundred. But the crane Sun Yuanhua controlled was different from the ironbeak flying cranes. On their bodies, they had white feathers, but there was blue color on the tips of the wings and tail, as well as their claws. Under the sunlight, they gave a metallic shine. At the same time, when they flew, traces of blue static lightning could be seen on their bodies. Be careful, these flying cranes are illusion lightning cranes. They have a fierce nature and are skilled at fighting alone. Ordinary ironbeak flying cranes are not their match. Fang Zheng heard Lord Sky Crane from in his mind. "I understand, Master." Fang Zheng replied immediately, his eyes shining brilliantly as he observed the illusion lightning crane group and manipulated his ironbeak flying crane group. They're going to crash. The ironbeak flying crane group is too huge, it is like a giant monster. Senior brother Sun's crane group might not even make a dent in it. No, senior brother Sun still has a chance. Crane battles aren't about numbers, it depends on their control and manipulation. Senior brother Sun had been training hard all along, his control of the crane groups is definitely one of the best. It all depends on Fang Zheng's performance now. To speak the truth, I don't think Fang Zheng will win. Although he is a genius, he is still human. These few years, he had to cultivate to rank 4, do the sect missions, and assemble his exemplary set of goo worms, all these had used up much of his time. I don't believe he still had time left to train his crane group manipulation skills. Everyone discussed with great fervor. Such an intensive fight, it was rarely seen in the sect's 3-year small examination and 8-year middle examination. Only in the 15-year large examination would it be seen occasionally. Although Fang Zheng possessed a huge number of cranes, not everyone thought highly of him. The scene now was like the fight between two armies. Fang Zheng had almost 10,000 flying cranes, he had a large army, but because of the numbers, it was easy to lose control over them. He was only rank 4 middle stage, the strength of his soul was limited, he could only have that much mental energy. Meanwhile, although Sun Yuanhua had fewer cranes, all of them were elites, and he could manipulate them easily. With the amount of time he placed into controlling them, his crane manipulation skill was one of the best in the sect. Seeing the two army about to crash in the air. At this moment, Sun Yuanhua suddenly leapt. He activated the Gu in his aperture, causing him to turn into a flash of lightning, closing in on Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng did not expect him to strike so suddenly. This way, Sun Yuanhua would fall into the encirclement of the Ironbeak flying cranes, and get himself into grave danger. Sun Yuanhua attacked like a hurricane, like he went mad, his strength was something beyond what he had displayed earlier. Fang Zheng lost the initiative and was suppressed, only able to defend with all his strength. The two cranes engaged in the air, while on the ground, Fang Zheng and Sun Yuanhua fought intensely. Although the numbers of illusion lighting cranes were few, they were united, and charged together, tearing apart many Ironbeak flying cranes. In contrast, the Ironbeak flying cranes, although many, were a mess, like a pack without a leader. The Ironbeak flying crane group could not block this small number of illusion lightning cranes. Senior brother Sun is amazing. His battle tactic was superb. That's right, Fang Zheng has limited concentration, manipulating this large group of cranes is like a baby wielding a hammer, amateurish and unskilled. He himself is being attacked by senior brother Sun, he can't even defend himself properly, with his concentration on defending, how could he bother with controlling the cranes above him? But the Ironbeak flying crane group is just too huge, there are many hundred beast kings, several thousand beast kings, and even a myriad beast king. In the illusion lightning crane group, there are only 300 beast kings and 1 injured 1,000 beast king. In order to avoid these beast kings, the illusion lightning cranes have to attack from the right and left, even if they injured many ordinary Ironbeak flying cranes, they are greatly injured themselves. Sun Yuanhua and Fang Zheng are evenly matched, one attacks and one defends, they are extremely familiar with each other's moves, there is no clear winner. We can only look at the result of the crane battle. An elder saw the victory condition of this match. If the Ironbeak flying crane group can devour the illusion lightning crane group, then it was Fang Zheng's victory for certain. But if the illusion lightning crane group rushes out of the Ironbeak flying crane's encirclement and goes to help Sun Yuanhua, Fang Zheng would lose. Endure for a bit more. Try and divert some attention to the Ironbeak flying cranes and kill all the illusion lightning cranes. If you can do that, it would be a huge breakthrough, it would be extremely helpful to you in the future. In Fang Zheng's mind, Lord Sky Crane's voice continued to advise. Fang Zheng exerted all his strength and followed what Lord Sky Crane said. But right when he was about to succeed, Sun Yuanhua would always break his concentration with a flurry of attacks. Sun Yuanhua was older than Fang Zheng, he had placed a lot of effort in manipulating cranes, under his control, although the cranes were injured, they were already about to break out of the Ironbeak flying crane's encirclement. Junior brother Fang Zheng, it is still too early for you to defeat me. He sneered. Such words were heard by Fang Zheng, and it triggered the deepest part of his memory. Back then, on Qingmao Mountain, Biu village, he and his older brother Fang Yuan fought in the arena. Fang Yuan said the exact same words. No, I cannot lose. I have to take revenge for my clan, for my uncle and aunt, for my clan leader, for Lord Qing Shu. Why have I worked so hard in these last few years? I must stand before my brother and defeat him. How can I lose to Sun Yuanhua now? Flames burned in Fang Zheng's eyes. He endured the pain in his head, and diverted his concentration. The iron-beak flying crane suddenly moved, like a huge beast opening its mouth, devouring the illusion lightning crane group. Seeing this, Sun Yuanhua's face went pale. Victory! The crowd cheered. Fang Zheng was the number 1 in the 8-year middle examination, defeating Sun Yuanhua and became an elite disciple of Immortal Crane Sect. Chapter 335, Gu Immortal by Whose Inheritance? Central Continent sect system was different from Southern Borders clan system. In clans, blood ties sustained the hierarchy, and clansmen were the target for nurturing. But in sects, masters and disciples replaced the bloodline system. In sects, they recruited disciples, and as long as one had good talent and character, they would be accepted. Precisely so, Fang Zheng was absorbed into Immortal Crane Sect as one of its members. In Immortal Crane Sect, from low to high, they were classified as Outer Disciple, Inner Disciple, Elite Disciple, Legacy Disciple, Sect Elder, Sect Leader, and the Supreme Elder. 3-year small examination was to choose inner disciples. 8-year middle examination was to choose elite disciples. As for the 15-year large examination, it allows one to ascend to a legacy disciple. Above the legacy disciple, it would be the sect elders. The sect elders in Immortal Crane Sect had at least rank 4 cultivation. The sect leader would have rank 5 cultivation, and the supreme elders were rank 6 Gu Immortals. There was even rank 7 among them. Central Continent was the strongest region compared to North, South, East, and West. Immortal Crane Sect was the top 10 sect in Central Continent. It was even stronger than Shang Clan. The disciple selection did not involve place of birth, or any regional priorities. Thus, in Immortal Crane Sect, there were no C-grade aptitudes. B-grade was the most commonly seen, but there were many A grades as well. Fang Zheng was a genius with a grade aptitude, no doubt. But in Immortal Crane Sect, in such a super-level force, there were many geniuses just like him. Fang Zheng, you were born smart and were willing to undertake hardships. Now that you have rank 4 cultivation, you are already qualified to be a sect elder. But you have only entered the sect for a short time. You need to complete many sect missions to prove your loyalty. I hope you can continue to work hard, become victorious in the large examination, and become a legacy disciple. Immortal Crane Sect leader sat on his grand seat as he looked down at Fang Zheng, who was kneeling below the stairs. Yes, I will remember leader's teachings. Fang Zheng replied. Now, I have a sect mission to hand to you and a few elite disciples. Go back and read through the details, go. The sect leader said as a bookworm flew out. Fang Zheng received it and took his leave. Once he returned, he laid down on the bed and fell asleep. Controlling Gu worms required a lot of concentration. He expended a lot of his mental energy in doing so. At times he had to multitask and do multiple things at once. In the battle with Sun Yuanhua, Fang Zheng used all his trump cards and truly expended all his means. He was too tired, forcefully meeting the sect leader to finish the initiation for advancing to an elite disciple. His head was still hurting, like a hammer was hitting him, while his shoulders were so sore that they could barely support his neck. He was drowsy and felt lightheaded. Fang Zheng slept for 2 days and 2 nights, until a series of knocking woke him up. Once he pushed the door open, he saw a group of elite disciples. These disciples comprised both male and female. They were mostly rank 3, but there were a few with rank 4 cultivation. Different from clans, which did not require loyalty to be tested, sects needed to do so. The higher the hierarchy, the fewer the number of elite disciples, legacy disciples, and elders. Many cultivated to rank 4, but were eliminated during the examinations. Thus resulted in many disciples and elders having the same rank for cultivation. But regardless of their cultivation, the elders definitely had higher battle strength than disciples. That is because they were chosen strictly through examinations, and were the most talented among thousands. Fang Zheng, we have the same mission. On this trip, I hope we can take care of each other. Fang Zheng, I saw your battle with Sun Yuan Hua, it was very exciting. I hope we can spar along the way. These people were very amiable. That is because they knew Fang Zheng controlled an Ironbeak flying crane group that was 10,000 in number. Although he could not control them perfectly, such strength was still respectable. You are too polite, my fellow sect brothers. I am ashamed, these few days, I have been sleeping, I have not seen the mission details yet. Fang Zheng cupped his fists, admitting. I see, in that case, I will tell you directly, our mission this time is extremely important. Fang Zheng, a few months ago, a shocking event happened at Tianti Mountain, do you know about it? An elite disciple asked. Tianti Mountain. Fang Zheng nodded, this matter was huge, I know about it. On Tianti Mountain, Fairy Bai Hu's inheritance appeared. Fairy Bai Hu is a famous person in the righteous path, a rank 6 Gu immortal, and owns the Hu immortal blessed land. Once this inheritance appeared, many Gu immortals came out. As long as one inherits this inheritance, they would gain her blessed land. Right now, Tianti Mountain is heavily surrounded by many Gu immortals. Fang Zheng, I'll tell you directly, our mission this time is to go to Tianti Mountain and try to obtain this inheritance. The Lord Gu immortal of our immortal crane sect has already come to an agreement with the lords of the other sects, in order to maintain peace, they will not strike, but instead, choose some elite disciples in their sect to compete in a fair manner. Fang Zheng heard this, and his eyes widened, showing intense desire, are you serious? This was the inheritance of a Gu immortal. Of course, if we are truly fated and become her inheritor, we would definitely shoot to success. In the future, we have a great chance of breaking through to Gu immortal realm. But other than our immortal crane sect, there is also Heavenly Lotus sect, Spirit Butterfly Valley, Ancient Soul sect, Heaven's Envy sect and the other Central Continent's top 10 sections. Thus, during this trip, we have to cooperate and stay united. Of course. Fang Zheng immediately replied. Huatan Mountain in southern border is a dormant volcano. It is about 3 kilometers tall, and the peak of the mountain is flat with a hole that is flowing with magma within. Thick smoke rose from the funnel occasionally like a chimney. The greatest resource on this mountain were charcoal stones, almost seen everywhere. This type of charcoal stone burnt for a long time and emitted little heat, and did not give out smoke. It was most commonly used in Xianxia City, 5th inner city. It had been numerous days since Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing stepped into Huatan Mountain. They had set off from Shangliang Mountain, to reach Sancha Mountain. Huatan Mountain was a necessary stop. Stepping on the charcoal stones, one would feel the heat from below, as the air was dry and without moisture. Looking far, all one could see was dark red charcoal stones. There were trees on this mountain too. But these trees were short and thin, their branches were like needles and did not block sunlight. Thus, on Huatan Mountain, one could have a wider vision than compared to being on other mountains. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing traveled on the mountain. If birds flew in the sky and looked down, they would see 2 tiny ants crawling slowly. The truth is, they were being observed. Hee, they are finally here. Huatan Mountain is a necessary location along the path, they will definitely pass by here if they want to go to Xianxia Mountain. At an insignificant corner, two demonic Gu masters were hiding. They were two bald men, the older one was called Jiao Huang, while the middle-aged man was called Meng Tu. They were a famous assassination duo among the demonic Gu masters. As long as we kill these two, Shang clan would have 10,000 primeval stones as reward, and we will also get a yellow pair token. How can we let go of such a good deal? Meng Tu licked his lips excitedly. But they are both rank 4 Gu masters, we are only rank 3 peak stage. This is a good deal, but the risks are higher. I'm not sure if it was a mistake to accept this. Jiao Huang was older and wiser, showing worry on his face. Elder brother Jiao too, don't be frightened by their cultivation. So what if they are rank 4, they are only rank 4 initial stage. Most of the Gu worms in their hands are still rank 3. Moreover, it is not like we have not killed a rank 4 Gu master before, remember that Xiao Fu Lu who was killed by us? Meng Tu encouraged. Once he mentioned Xiao Fu Lu, Jiao Huang frowned, as he said nervously, didn't I mention it many times, don't talk about Xiao Fu Lu. He is the grandson of Xiao clan's supreme elder, we offended a Gu immortal when we killed him. Keep this matter in your stomach and never mention it again. Humph, so what if he is a Gu immortal? Haven't we lived free and safe all these years? Meng Tu pouted indifferently, Gu immortals are not omnipotent, not to mention these two newly advanced rank 4 Gu masters. Brother, don't forget that we've spent several days preparing that trap for them. He. Speaking of that trap, Jiao Huang's expression relaxed. He muttered, as long as they fall into the trap and engage in a fierce battle, their primeval essence will be depleted and we will have a chance to act. Exactly. Meng Tu said, as his eyes suddenly glowed, saying softly but excitedly, quickly look, they fell for the trap. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing stopped walking. The nearby ground started shaking violently. Rock shrapnels fell down the cliff from both sides. On the ground, the soil was moved away as lava crocodiles crawled out from the ground. It is a lava crocodile group, there is 1,000 beast king. Bai Ningbing concentrated, looking at the leader of the group. This lava crocodile king was huge, the size of 3 elephants. Its body is covered with deep red scales, and 4 thick legs supported its huge body. A crocodile tail giving off a metallic glow was over 10 meters long. On its back, there were 2 lumps, like 2 small volcanoes. As it breathed, 2 traces of black smoke rose from the volcanoes, thick and thin rhythmically. As the lava crocodile king crawled out of the ground, it stared at Fang and Bai, but most of its attention was on Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing were rank 4 initial stage Gu masters, but he had rank 4 middle stage primeval essence. The lava crocodile king had sharp senses, it immediately sensed that Fang Yuan's aura was scarier. It opened its mouth, and over 1,000 lava crocodiles encircled Fang and Bai. Facing such a dangerous situation, Fang Yuan laughed, it is but a few crocodiles, Bai Ningbing, cooperate with me and kill this lava crocodile king. Okay. Bai Ningbing replied plainly, but battle intent surged in her eyes. Back then, when they first left Qingmao Mountain, they had also encountered a lava crocodile king, and stayed away from it. But now, they were different, having rank for cultivation, even if this lava crocodile king was 1,000 beast king, it could not stop their path. Chapter 336, Hero Saves the Beauty. Rocks cracked and flew, the crocodile group hissed in pain. The large battle was at its end, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing stood high on Huatan Mountain, surrounding them were corpses of lava crocodiles. Meanwhile, that 1,000 beast king lava crocodile king was on the ground with all the bones in its body broken, the 2 protruding mini volcano on its back were also smashed apart. It hissed in a soft voice as it laid flat on the ground with blood pouring out from countless wounds on its body. Its claws shook as it tried to rake the ground to drill underground, however it no longer had enough strength. Its struggles continued to decrease till death finally descended on it. With the death of the Thousand Beast King, the remaining lava crocodiles immediately scattered, drilling into the ground or fleeing in disarray. After roughly clearing up the battlefield, Fang and Bai resumed their journey. Jiao Huang and Meng Tu were hiding in a faraway corner without moving even a bit. These two famous assassins had quite an unsightly expression right now, just like zombies. They were scared. Are these two still humans? They contended against the whole lava crocodile group with just their own strength. Bai Ningbing walks the ice path and greatly suppresses the lava crocodiles. That can't be helped, but the main thing is still that Fang Zheng, he is simply a monster in human skin. The more injuries he suffered, the stronger he became. At the end, he even sent the lava crocodile king flying easily. Jiao Huang and Meng Tu glanced at each other, both saw palpitation in each other's eyes. Fang and Bai's terrifying strength greatly exceeded their expectations. They did not live in Shang Clan City, so only after seeing the whole battle, did they become deeply aware of Fang and Bai's terror. These two youths are seriously only around 20 years old. Screw that, compared to them, we were simply living a dog's life for the last 40 years of our career. Meng Tu cursed out in fear. Brother Meng Tu, don't say so. Hearing you say that, I am completely ashamed of myself. The older Jiao Huang heaved a deep sigh. Undoubtedly, these two are geniuses. Comparing oneself to others will only make you angry. We are simply not their match. If I had known this early, I would have never accepted this deal. Brother Jiao Huang, your words have spurred on my competitiveness and made me more indignant. This is still not finished, although we can't defeat them, we still have a chance. Meng Tu said as he spit out some saliva. What chance? Think of it, Brother Jiao Huang. They are going to Xianxia Mountain to seek benefits from the Three Kings' inheritance. Xianxia Mountain is extremely chaotic right now with rank 4 and rank 5 experts everywhere. They will definitely have to clash with others once they reach there. We will look for an opportunity while they are there. If we can take advantage of the situation while they are in trouble, that will be the best. Jiao Huang's eyes brightened upon hearing this reminder. He patted Meng Tu's shoulder. Brother, what you said makes sense. Let's go to Xianxia Mountain. There was something fishy about that group of lava crocodiles. Fang Yuan thought along the way. The timing of the lava crocodiles and the area they appeared in were too coincidental. The moment they appeared, they firmly surrounded Fang and Bai. Bai Ningbing did not sense anything wrong, but the astute Fang Yuan with his previous life's experience could smell a conspiracy. Fang Yuan was very familiar with such situations. Someone intentionally designed this trap and wanted to deal with me. But which side is it? Wu clan, Bai clan or Shang clan? Fang Yuan inwardly pondered. Because I know Li Rant's identity and I have now left Shangliang Mountain, there is a probability that Wu clan would make a move. As for Bai clan, I have become their enemy. I know the huge secret of their clan's spirit spring drying up and have extorted them of 3 million primeval stones. How could they not hate me? There is also Shang clan. The amount of Shang clansmen I have offended are also many. Xianxia Zi, Shang Yifan, after buying that group of Wei clansmen I also offended Shang Pu Lao. In Shang clan's young master competition, I was one of the forces of Shang Xianxia and if I was to be eliminated outside, she would be greatly weakened. Forget it, let's not think too much about it. I will just deal with it as they come. Fang Yuan shook his head and threw the disorganized thoughts out of his mind, clearing his thoughts. If it was before when he was weak, he would have to exhaust all his energy to plan for everything. But now, his strength had increased by a lot and he had the aura of someone who would not move no matter what wind attacked him. Central Continent. Wind whistled through the sea of clouds. 10,000 flying cranes were flapping their wings together. Fang Zheng and the other elite disciples of Immortal Crane sect stood or sat cross-legged on the flying cranes and hurried towards Tian Ti Mountain. Boss Fang Zheng, your crane group is really mighty. We will definitely shine brightly on this trip to Tian Ti Mountain and sweep through everything. An elite disciple said. He used a gu while speaking, so no matter how strong the wind blew, his voice was not obstructed and was clearly transmitted to everyone. You speak too highly of me. This time, the ones participating in the competition for Gu Immortal by whose inheritance are all elites from the 10 great sections. If we want to get the inheritance, not only do we need strength, but also luck. Boss Fang Zheng, you are too modest. With your myriad crane group, who can stop us? Immediately another elite disciple said. Boss Fang Zheng, you are my role model. No wonder you were dispatched to this mission by the sect leader after just becoming an elite disciple. On this trip to Tian Ti Mountain, we will only be following your lead. An elite female disciple said respectfully. On the way, Fang Zheng had sparred with all the elite disciples. He was very strong and also had a spirit incubating flea in his aperture. Lord Sky Crane's soul resided in the spirit incubating flea and would give guidance from time to time. There was also the support of the myriad crane group. Because of this, Fang Zheng defeated all the other elite disciples. He was not arrogant after his victory, he had a great bearing and was modest, easily winning everyone's good impressions and was pushed to become their head. They were all in admiration of Fang Zheng. Among the 10 great sects of Central Continent, which one of them does not have deep foundations? I am sure they also have talented people among them. Although I have the myriad crane group, my weakness is that I can't control them fully. I still need to ask you all to provide guidance regarding the control of the flying cranes. Fang Zheng cupped his hands towards the people beside him. We wouldn't dare. It is our honor to be able to spar with Boss Fang Zheng. Boss, you have been cultivating so hard these days that it makes us blush with shame. Boss, your progress is remarkable, you have an innate talent in controlling the cranes. You only lacked practice before, and given some time, you are sure to surpass Sun Yuanhua. The other elite disciples said words of agreement. Their words were from the depths of their hearts. On this journey, they could clearly notice Fang Zheng's progress. Fang Zheng smiled. With Lord Sky Crane providing guidance and secret experiences, and even controlling his body sometimes, how could he not improve at a lightning pace? After flying for some time, the Ironbeak flying cranes started to cry out one after another. Fang Zheng and the rest understood. All right. It is time, we need to land and feed the flying cranes. Fang Zheng stamped, the flying crane group started to pierce down through the layer of clouds under his control. For a moment, it was only a scene of white vastness. Soon, the clouds and mist disappeared as the group flew down from the layer of clouds to the verdant and lush ground. Flying cranes also needed to eat. The larger the scale of the crane group, the higher their demand for food. Fortunately, Ironbeak flying cranes could eat anything. Sometimes, they even ate stones to fill their stomachs, thus were very easy to raise. Fang Zheng possessed such a large-scale crane group, but it was also equally troublesome. After every set intervals, he would need to fly to the ground and feed the crane group. There is a battle going on. As they were descending down, an elite disciple suddenly spoke out. Everyone immediately discovered the unusual state on the ground. 4 demonic Gu masters were laughing evilly while surrounding 3 female Gu masters and slowly nearing them. TSK, it is the 4 great obscenities. Soon, an elite disciple exposed those 4 demonic Gu masters' identity with a disgusted tone. These 4 great obscenities were separately, Eastern obscenity Qin Yi Dao, Western thief Yu Ba Guang, Southern disturbance Shi Bao and Northern squandering Fan Chun Yao. They had been traveling all over Central Continent and were all rank 4 Gu masters. They were extremely strong and were even able to contend against rank 5 Gu masters when they combined their strength. Look, they are actually surrounding Fairy by Xia of Heavenly Lotus sect. An elite disciple with sharp sight shouted. Humph, demonic paths people, every single one of them needs to be executed. Fang Zheng's expression turned incomparably cold and immediately commanded the crane group to charge down without thinking much. He, Fairy by Xia, it will be difficult for you to escape this calamity today. To think our luck is so good today to be able to smell the aroma of Fairy by Xia. Even if we suffered heavy injuries, it is worth it. The 4 great obscenities winked as they pressed on towards the 3 female Gu masters. Damn it! Fairy by Xia gritted her snow-white teeth. She was seriously injured and did not have strength to break through. Just as she was starting to feel desperation and was thinking of committing suicide, she suddenly heard the cries of a group of cranes from above her. Who is it? The 4 great obscenities raised their heads and shouted. Immortal Crane Sect's elite disciple, Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng was standing on the back of the Ironbeak Flying Crane King, his tongue seemed to burst out with thunder. He stood upright and proudly on the crane's back, his body was robust, his brows thick and his eyes like that of a tiger's. He fixed his gaze on the 4 obscenities and waved his hand. The elite disciples behind him and 10,000 Ironbeak flying cranes passed him and charged towards the 4 obscenities. Heavens, so many cranes! It is one of the 10 great sects, the elite disciples of the Immortal Crane sect. What bad luck, we have injuries and can't contend against this group, let's retreat. The 4 great obscenities sized the situation before turning to flee and soon, they had escaped far away, their figures disappeared from everyone's sight. These demonic path trash, they might not have other abilities but they are pretty quick in running. The elite disciples laughed loudly. Are you okay? Fang Zheng got off from the back of the crane and approached Fairy by Xia, asking softly. I am okay, thank you young Master Fang Zheng for saving me. Fairy by Xia looked at Fang Zheng, her face blushed red and her gaze carried hints of infatuation. She had thought she would not be able to escape this calamity, but a hero came falling from the sky. Fang Zheng was like the hero saving the beauty and it left a deep impression on Fairy by Xia. Chapter 337, Leaving Somebody in the Lurch. 2 young babies, leave behind your primeval stones, strip off your clothes and kowtow to your grandpa thrice, and I shall spare your little lives. Gahaha. A rank 3 old demonic Gu master with disheveled hair suddenly appeared and blocked Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's way. The old monster He sure is making it difficult for newbies again. These 2 youths are out of luck considering they ran into the old monster He sure. That girl looks quite pretty, why does she look somewhat familiar? It is a pity the old monster He sure is here, otherwise we would have made a move. From within the darkness, many demonic Gu masters looked here with sinister smiles on their faces. Bam! Fang Yuan's response was straightforward, he directly summoned his beast phantom. The moment he made a move, the breath concealment Gu lost its effect, and his rank 4 aura was revealed in its whole. Shock and desperation immediately showed on the old monster He shure's face. He wanted to escape but Bai Ningbing also made a move at the same time and kept him in check. The old monster He sure was directly struck by Beast Phantom and turned into minced meat. Blood, bone pieces and brain matter mixed together and splattered all around. what the f asterisk ck. Oh God, these two youths are both rank 4 Gu masters. I remember it now, they are black and white twin demons. One is called Fang Zheng and another is by Ning Bing, both are geniuses of the demonic path. They have made great names for themselves in Shang Clan City's battle stage, especially Fang Zheng, people call him Little Beast King, almost having hegemony over the whole battle stage. Why are these two guys here? The temptation of San Cha Mountain's inheritance is too big, they were also attracted by it. Old monster He Shi kicked an iron board, his death was really tragic. Many Gu masters watching from the darkness, as they opened their eyes wide in extreme shock and fear. Humph. Fang Yuan was not satisfied with killing the old monster He Shi. With a shift of his mind, he activated another beast phantom and charged towards a specific shadow. Bam! A huge sound resounded, the demonic Gu master hiding in the shadow directly exploded into meat paste by Fang Yuan's attack. Countless demonic Gu masters drew in a sharp breath of cold air from the darkness. Jin Cheng'en also died. Little Beast King has a heavy murderous nature, he doesn't let even spectators go. Let's go, let's go. Even the old monster He Shi could not resist their one move, it will be too late if we don't hurry now. Trees shook, stones were lifted up, countless shadows scuttled out, fleeing towards every direction. Fang Yuan and Bai Ning Bing quietly watched this and did not block them. As they got closer to San Cha Mountain, the demonic Gu masters they ran into also increased. During ordinary times, one could only occasionally run into these guys. However, San Cha Mountain was like a fragrant honey that attracted all kinds of flies, bees and so on. We have yet to reach San Cha Mountain, but we have seen all kinds of demons and ghosts fighting each other. It is obvious how chaotic the situation over at San Cha Mountain is now. Bai Ning Bing's expression was indifferent but her tone was slightly heavy. Several months had already passed since the Three Kings' inheritance appeared on San Cha Mountain, this caused a huge disturbance in southern border. Countless figures appeared one after another and rushed towards there. Righteous path and demonic path fought against each other for a place in the quota to enter the inheritance. San Cha Mountain had already changed into a slaughterhouse. Every day, there was large amounts of lives lost in open fights and schemes. Kill them all, gain notoriety through killing. Kill until these people tremble in fear, only then will they not dare to lightly provoke us. Fang Yuan smiled coldly, his eyes filled with thick killing intent. Fang Yuan was fully aware that reputation was very important when one went outside. Fang Yuan and Bai Ning Bing were living in Shang Clan City all this while, although their fame had spread, it was mostly limited to within the city. Most people had not heard about Fang and Bai. Killing all that stands in their way, killing to gain fame, this would be an enormous help to Fang Yuan's future plans. Alright. Let's continue using breath concealment Gu and hide our rank 4 aura. Killing like this is really splendid and very interesting. We can leave deep impressions on others and make them remember us for their whole lives. Bai Ning Bing smiled, her blue eyes shone with cold light. Her beauty was like that of a snow fairy, untouched by the mortal world. Her tone, however, was like a bloody, poisonous scorpion, and was filled with terrifying killing intent. Breath-concealing Gu was only a rank 3 Gu, Fang and Bai were barely able to use it to conceal their rank 4 cultivation. Fang Yuan advanced to rank 4 initial stage and he needed to replace many of his Gu. Bai Ning Bing was also the same. Three Kings' inheritance has many of the Gu I need. As long as I obtain those Gu, my set of strength path Gu worms will push towards completion. It will also provide me great help in advancing to rank 5 and allow me to dominate the mortal realm. Calculating the time, the Hu Immortal Blessed Land in Central Continent should also have opened. Fairy Bai, who was a rank 6 Gu immortal, and the inheritance she had left behind is intact. It is many times better than the 3 kings' inheritance. Unfortunately, I am not in Central Continent. No, even if I were in Central Continent, I am not a disciple of the 10 great sects and thus cannot participate in the contest at Tian Ti Mountain. Sigh, such a pity. Fang Yuan gazed far away towards the direction of Central Continent before continuing to move forward. Bai Ningbing was silent as she walked alongside Fang Yuan. The two crossed mountains and charged around everywhere. They would directly kill any demonic Gu masters or righteous Gu masters they met. Their vicious reputation quickly spread. In Fang Yuan's view, at every stage, there was an appropriate manner to developing oneself. When one was weak, they should keep a low profile and do things secretly, suffering patiently and growing stealthily. When they were strong, they should spread their name and strike when the timing was right, making others feel fear and terror. Sometimes, reputation was a much stronger weapon than strength. Soon, Bai Ningbing realized the advantage of reputation. When they had just started on the journey, the Gu masters along the way often tried to make things difficult for them. Just like that old monster Heisher, daring to jump out with just a mere rank 3 cultivation. Fang and Bai were young, moreover Bai Ningbing's stunning appearance caused others to have an impulse to commit crime. Now, however, even though Fang and Bai were using breath concealment Gu and hiding their cultivation, their path was unimpeded, saving them a lot of trouble. They had yet to truly reach Xianxia Mountain, but their evil reputation had already spread till there. Good deeds remain obscured while bad deeds spread over 1,000 miles. Such evil reputation was the fastest to spread. Right now, everyone knew there were 2 terrifying demonic path rising stars, rank 4 geniuses, killing their way toward Xianxia Mountain, 2 who were very aggressive and easily killed people. This day, they finally reached the foot of Xianxia Mountain. Sounds of a fight suddenly came from ahead. "Don't come here, don't come." A female Gu master shouted with terror all over her face and was faintly gasping, her clothing in rags, revealing her beautiful shoulders and thighs. He, little beauty, quietly obey us. If you resist anymore, be careful that I might just slash your pretty face. Don't resist. Let us big brothers give you a taste of euphoria, ha ha ha. The demonic Gu master's eyes shone with a wolf-like green light as they continuously charged towards the female Gu master. The female Gu master resisted with all her might, but she was alone and her strength was not enough. The situation was in full control of the several demonic Gu masters. Damn it, damn it. The female Gu master bit her full lower lip with her pure white teeth, her face filled with anxiety and terror. She retreated bit by bit, the clothings on her body were slowly cut open. Her smooth legs were exposed and her thick hair was in a mess. As she escaped, her chest bobbed like a white rabbit, which provoked the attacking demonic Gu masters to let out wolfish howls. Can anyone save me? Can anyone save me? I have 30,000 primeval stones here. The female Gu master shouted, her weak voice further stimulate the desire in these Gu masters. Nobody moves. This little girl is our 10 tyrants, pray. Wait till our boss comes over. That's right, we don't want the 30,000 primeval stones. We will enjoy this first, the rest of you can take turns later. Gahaha. Some righteous Gu masters were just about to make their moves to rescue the girl, but when they heard the name of 10 tyrants, they immediately chose to shrink back. The boss of the 10 tyrants was a rank 4 Gu master. Who can save me, please save me. The female Gu master shouted sadly like the lament of a cuckoo. She kept on running, asking for help everywhere, but wherever she went, the Gu masters would all retreat and avoid her. Only Fang and Bai stood on their spots, watching indifferently. 2 lords, please, I pray you for mercy, please save me. The female Gu master's eyes shone with hope. The weeping beauty ran towards Fong Yuan and pleaded. Where did these two brats come from? Mind your own business. We are Nan Mountain's 10 tyrants, you two young juniors, eh? This can't be. These few demonic Gu masters suddenly paled when they recognized Fong and Bai's identity. Although that person is disguising as a male, she is a female. These two, one man and one woman, black cloth, black hair and black eyes, white cloth, silver hair and blue eyes, aren't they the recently famous black and white twin demons? The demonic Gu masters immediately stopped. They fixed their gazes at Fong and Bai with profound fear. Fong and Bai's reputation were the number one thing they heard recently. These two might be young, but were true geniuses of the demonic path. They were both extremely ruthless and had a murderous nature. Most importantly, they both had rank for cultivation. Such cultivation was terrifying. Rank 1 were considered substandard, rank 2 could be said to be lackeys, while rank 3 were the main pillars and held their own. Rank 4 were already experts among Gu masters, and were the leaders of ordinary clans. Even in 10 tyrants, only their boss was at rank 4 middle stage. As for rank 5, they stood at the peak of the mortal world and were very few in numbers. Even in southern border with hundreds of thousands of mountains and countless heroes, there were only over 100 rank 5 Gu masters. Lord Twin Demons, save me, please save me. The female Gu master found a way out of her predicament and knelt on the ground in front of Fong and Bai, imploring. The surrounding Gu masters all casted their gazes here. These two are the black and white twin demons who just recently became famous. They are unexpectedly so young. 10 tyrants against black and white twin demons. One has been famous for a long time while the other are rising stars of the demonic path. This should be interesting. As long as the boss of the 10 tyrants does not show up, they are no match for black and white twin demons. Black and white twin demons got a bargain, getting that beauty for free. Little Beast King will have beauties on his left and right. He really has luck with women. Under everyone's gazes, Fong Yuan took a light step back. Save you? Why would I save you? Because of your superficial beauty, or do you think I am a kind person and like helping people? Fong Yuan looked down at the kneeling Gu master, his gaze cold and indifferent. The female Gu master stupidly raised her head to look at Fong Yuan. Fong Yuan coldly smiled, then looked at the 10 tyrants members behind him. You can continue, I won't make a move. I've had such a tedious journey coming here, please do give me a good show. Chapter 338, Who May Err. Hearing Fong Yuan say that, a few members of 10 tyrants showed a softer expression. Next, one of them pounced and kept the female Gu master on the ground. The female Gu master struggled to no avail, as this member of 10 tyrants laughed and pulled with his demonic palm. TSK. The silk clothing of the female Gu master was torn open, showing her underwear. Such a scene caused the people to howl like a wolf, as the demonic Gu masters were very aroused. Many righteous Gu masters gritted their teeth secretly. Someone wanted to stop them, but was stopped by another. Don't do anything. There is not only the 10 tyrants here, but also the black and white twin demons. Are you courting death? Moreover, that female Gu master is not a righteous character. You don't have to involve yourself. Damn, members of the demonic path are truly scum of the world, unscrupulous and shameless. Some Gu masters were indignant, clenching their fists. Many female Gu masters looked away, shutting their eyes. No, no. I'm begging you, please stop. That female Gu master cried out in despair. Bai Ningbing was expressionless, as she stared at Fong Yuan. Fong Yuan was sneering, looking at the scene. My respects to the 2 black and white twin demons. We will report your act of friendship to our boss, since you gave the opportunity to us and merely watched. A Gu master of 10 tyrants walked up and cupped his fists towards Fong and Bai, smiling respectfully. The other members walked to the female Gu master. One of them spit out some phlegm, cursing, "Little slut, do you think you can seduce the 2 Lord Black and White twin demons by begging? Naive. Stupid. You sure ran fast, next I will make sure you enjoy yourself." He he he. Another person laughed lecherously, looking extremely perverted. As for the person on top of the female Gu master, he was about to attack. At this moment, a pink light appeared from the female Gu master's body, and exploded. The male Gu master was caught off guard and sent flying. He was like a comet, flying far away, landing after 100 steps away, fainted. What? This female Gu master is trying something funny, let's attack together. What guts? You dare to resist us? The other members of the 10 tyrants shouted as they pounced at the female Gu master. But the next moment, the pink light flashed again, and intense screams were heard. The members of 10 tyrant were sent flying all together. The pink light displayed the female Gu master's overwhelming battle strength, as she had a alluring evil gaze. The disguise on her was completely removed, showing her true flirtatious appearance. The members of 10 tyrant were lying on the ground, shocked. Who knows what methods she used, causing them to be weak and powerless on the ground, unable to get up. The fierce and evil 10 tyrant members were actually not the female Gu master's match. Such a sudden change caused everyone's expressions to change. Many people watched speechlessly, extremely surprised. Only Fong Yuan's expression remained the same, as if he knew all along. The female Gu master laughed, after showing her true appearance. Her alluring eyes were soul-stealing. A slender body with perfect curves, like a flowering peach in spring, made everyone extremely comfortable. During this period, the members of 10 Tyrant got up. Their strength slowly recovered. But even so, the shock on their faces were still apparently. They felt a real rank for aura from the female Gu master. This female Gu master's cultivation was actually rank 4. Numerous people's expressions changed when they found out. "Little Beast King, you left a maiden in distress, are you a man?" The female Gu master looked at Fong Yuan, showing an upset, annoyed expression, causing people greatly pity her. At once, all the males stared at her fixedly. Many Gu master started to be jealous Fong Yuan. If this woman would give them one glance, it was worth dying for. But Fong Yuan had no emotions, his tone was like ice, chilling to the bone. "Who may err, do you think this level of acting can trick me?" The female Gu master's pupils shrunk. She did not expect Fong Yuan to expose her identity so easily. But she quickly recovered, her lips pouting, "To think that my lowly name is known by Lord Little Beast King. It is my great honor, but, before I exposed my true appearance, how did Lord manage to find out?" Fong Yuan laughed heartily. "Before you showed your true self, I was only guessing. But whether I guessed right or wrong, I have no losses, am I right?" Even if Hu Meier was a demonic Gu master, upon hearing Fong Yuan's cruel words, her heart chilled. It is actually her. This woman is famous in the demonic path, she is very scary. An expert at disguise, don't be moved by her appearance, she is a demoness that devours people whole, she is completely ruthless. Hu Meier has a broad network, she has slept with many demonic Gu masters. Why did the 10 tyrants provoke her? 10 tyrants members helped each other up as their faces were pale without a trace of blood. By now, they had already understood, they were obviously toyed by Hu Meier. Hu Meier had rank 4 cultivation, it was easy for her to deal with them. Her earlier disguise and performance was just a toy with them, she was trying to use them to probe and get close to the black and white demons. But Little Beast King had sharp eyes, he actually saw through her disguise. Ha ha ha, Fang Zheng, you are truly heartless. But don't be too smug. You two have been too famous these few days, now the entire Xianxia mountain knows that two demonic path geniuses are here. Be it righteous or demonic path, many seniors and experts are now trying to test you. You have offended many people, I advise you to stop here. Otherwise, you might lose your life when you ascend the mountain. Hu Mei laughed. Oh. That means, you are the first person sent to test us. Hee hee, why are you worrying about our safety? As for offending people, the one thing I am not afraid of is offending people. So what if I offend every human alive? Fang Yuan spoke plainly, but his words were chilling. Hu Mei listened as her eyes glowed brightly, showing excitement in her eyes. She laughed while covering her mouth. Well said. What great courage, I like it. Not afraid to offend people. Then let me tell you, you look down on my appearance, that is offending me. In this world, only villains and women are hard to please. I am not only a woman, but also a villain. Hee hee hee, Little Beast King, let's see who laughs till the end. I hope you can leave the mountain alive. Hu Mei said with a sharp gaze as she turned to leave immediately. Everyone watched her pink dress flutter in the wind, her beautiful appearance as she left, leaving everyone speechless. Hu Mei. Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart. This Hu Mei was a demoness in the demonic path. She was very mysterious, no one knew her origins. In his previous life, she was very active, causing problems everywhere, sowing discord, causing fights and disputes wherever she went. She cultivated the enchantment path, specifically, enchanting people. Using her appearance, she controlled many demonic experts, and she had many puppets all over southern border, among them, there were even rank 5 Gu masters. There were even rank 4 Gu masters who fought due to jealousy over her. However, others did not know her origins, but Fang Yuan knew. This demoness had a great origin, she was the granddaughter of Granny Mei Hua. Granny Mei Hua was a rank 6 Gu immortal in southern border, occupying the Mei Hua blessed land. The demoness seduced men all over southern border, and had a specific interest in young men. In his previous life, 100 years from now, she would gather her force and head to Xiyang Mountain. Nobody knew what happened on the mountain, but the result was, she alone left the mountain. What was worth mentioning was, she ascended the mountain as a rank 4 Gu master, but she descended as rank 5 peak stage. This demoness has an unspeakable secret. Right now, she is starting to display her enchantment path and recruiting people. To think that she would develop an interest in me this time. Fang Yuan compared his lives, and exclaimed. He used the advantages of rebirth to grow quickly, and became chosen by Hu Mei. Hu Mei was interested in his potential, and wanted to seduce him into her puppet. But how could that happen? In the 500 years of my past life, I had already eliminated my mortal desires. But the enchantment path has its strengths, I cannot be unguarded. Hu Mei must have gone to incite people to find trouble with me. She has the Gu from Granny Mei Hua, if I want to kill her, I will need ample preparation and isolate that Gu from her. Hee hee, I wonder which blind fool would dare to find trouble with me. Fang Yuan analyzed in his heart. Since he could not kill Hu Mei at the moment, he could only deal with the situation step by step. Right now, Hu Mei's enchantment path had not reached greater success, she only had rank 4 Gu masters under her charm. As long as they are not rank 5, Fang Yuan had no fear. He was confident that with his experience and this set of Gu worms, even if he cannot win, he will not lose. Central Continent, Tian Mountain. Riding the flying crane, Fang Zheng and others traveled days and nights before arriving. Before them, many elite disciples from the other 10 sects had already arrived. It is the people from Immortal Crane sect. Why did Fairy by Xia from Heavenly Lotus sect come with Immortal Crane sect? Who is that lad? Fairy by Xia is talking so happily with him. I have never seen Fairy by Xia speak so nicely to a guy from the same generation before. Fang Zheng and the others' arrival attracted everyone's attention. By Xia, you arrived too. Do you know, since our last separation, I have been wanting to meet you again. This time, at the Hu Immortal Inheritance, I expected you to come. Thus, I begged my master to let me come here as well. A young man saw Fairy by Xia and quickly came over. Bai Xia was speaking and laughing with Fang Zheng, but upon seeing him, her smile vanished. Chapter 339, Trouble. Oh, it is Sir Wei, no need to worry, thanks to young hero Fang Zheng, Bai Xia is safe and sound. Fairy Bai Xia avoided Wei Wushang's gaze and greeted. Young hero Fang. Wei Wushang squinted, looking at Fang Zheng who was standing beside Fairy Bai Xia. Hello, I am Immortal Crane Sect's Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng smiled lightly, cupping his fists and greeting, oozing with friendliness. Young hero Fang Zheng, an elite disciple of Immortal Crane Sect, the number 1 in the most recent middle examination. He can control 10,000 cranes. Thanks to these cranes, we could reach Tian Mountain so quickly. Fairy Bai Xia said while looking at Fang Zheng, her face blushing shyly, as her tone carried a faint sweetness. Along the way, she had conversed with Fang Zheng, and felt that they hit it off. Immortal Crane. These are just ironbeak flying rains, although the number is a little large. Wei Wushang's eyes shone coldly, feeling extremely angry towards Fang Zheng. He gritted his teeth, greeting Fang Zheng back. Fang Zheng, you are an elite disciple of Immortal Crane Sect? That's great. I've long heard of Immortal Crane Sect's crane manipulation skill. I have always wanted to face off against it. I would appreciate it if you would spar with me. Saying so, Wei Wushang took large steps forward, his eyes glowing with overbearingness as he stared at Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng was stunned, as he sensed animosity, feeling absurdity from the issue. Ha ha ha. In his mind, Lord Sky Crane laughed loudly. A beauty's gratitude is the biggest problem, my disciple. The act of saving that little lass Bai Xia has brought you many enemies. This young girl Bai Xia is a great beauty. Now that she likes you, you have trouble ahead. This Wei Wushang is your first challenger. Ha! Likes me? Fang Zheng shouted in his mind. Speaking of love, he felt a deep sorrow in his heart. These years, he had a girl's image deep in his heart. She was immortal, she was very normal, very ordinary, and much inferior to Fairy Bai Xia. But in Fang Zheng's heart, she had an extraordinary cuteness. The times he spent with her were the best memories in Fang Zheng's heart. Unfortunately, she was already dead, no longer in this world. She was Shen Chui, Fang Zheng's former servant. Thinking of Shen Chui, Fang Yuan's heart sank. The girl I liked is dead. Master, you know how hard I've worked these years. My biggest goal is to defeat my brother and take revenge for my ancestors, my uncle and aunt, Shen Chui, Lord Clan Leader, Lord Qing Shu, and fulfill their wishes. Although Guyu village was destroyed, the Guyu bloodline still exists. Ha ha ha, my foolish disciple, even if that is what you want, this Wei Wusheng will not let you off. Since you decided to save Fairy Bai Xia, why didn't you realize that? Lord Sky Crane laughed. But I do not want to spar with him. I've heard of this Wei Wushang in Immortal Crane Sect. He is a healing Gu master, a rising star in Heaven's Envy Sect, a strong A-grade aptitude genius. He is most skilled in healing himself, often leaving unscathed after a battle. If I battle him, even if I win, my condition will not be at its peak. It will negatively affect my performance when competing for the Gu immortal inheritance. Lord Sky Crane laughed heartily. Don't worry, go ahead and fight. The Hu immortal inheritance on Tian Ti Mountain is special. It will not make you compete in terms of battle strength, it is a contest of willpower and determination. With my soul assisting you secretly, you have a great advantage. After pausing for a while, Lord Sky Crane continued, you are still too young, you do not know the usefulness of reputation. Sometimes, reputation is more useful than strength, this is a rare opportunity, defeat these challengers and improve your reputation. Use the flying cranes and don't worry about their deaths. We have lots of cranes in Immortal Crane Sect, even if you use them all, we can return to the sect and replenish your army. Hearing his master say so, Fang Zheng sighed, saying to Wei Wuxiang, since you want a battle, so be it. Excellent. Please. Wei Wuxiang sneered, stomping and shooting into the air like lightning. Fang Zheng did not show any weakness, waving his hand and stepping on a flying crane, as 10,000 cranes cried out together, as if greeting their king. Once the battle began, everyone got excited. Boss Fang Zheng, all the best, defeat this sissy from Heaven's Envy sect. Immortal Crane Sect's elite disciples shouted. Junior brother Wei, teach this lad a lesson. Wei Wuxiang had his supporters. Wei Wuxiang nodded, intense battle intent burning in his eyes. He was the leader of the elite disciples sent by Heaven's Envy sect this time. Fang Zheng's 10,000 crane group could scare ordinary elite disciples, but not him. He had his own trump card. Battle. Wei Wuxiang activated the Gu worms in his body, as his body flashed in the air and vanished. The next moment, the space was torn apart as he traveled through several hundred steps away, directly appearing in front of Fang Zheng. Space-piercing Gu. Even Lord Sky Crane was shocked. An intense battle unfolded. At the same time, on Xianxia Mountain. In a certain cave, the 10 tyrants gathered. That means, you were all used by Humayer to test the black and white demons. The leader of 10 tyrants, Tyrant Heng Mei, muttered. That's right, boss, that demoness tricked us all, and even injured 7th and 10th brother. Boss, you have to avenge us. The second brother of 10 tyrants shouted. Smack. Tyrant Heng Mei slapped. The second brother of 10 tyrant was harshly slapped on his cheeks, his body turning on the spot. Boss. He held his face, looking at Tyrant Heng Mei in shock. Heavily injured. That is perfect, as long as they're not dead. You bunch with sperms for brains, control your lower body. I instructed you earlier to mind your actions and words already, do you really think this is still Nan Mountain? Tyrant Heng Mei scolded, wrong. This is Xianxia Mountain. Be it Kong Ri Tian, Long Qing Tian, or Wushan Tong, Ichong, all of them can kill you like an ant easily. Although you have rank 3 cultivation, what is the most important reason you are able to stay here? Isn't it all due to me? Humph, this matter is a warning to all of you. I have to tell you, don't find problems with Humayer. This demoness seduces men to their death, she has a wide network. She is involved with Lin Sanqi, has rumors with Li Xian, and even Mo Wu Tian. Tyrant Heng Mei's words shocked the 9 brothers. Lin Sanqi was a rank 4 demonic Gu master, he was not only skilled in the metal path, but was also an earth path Gu master. His metal and earth specialty was renowned through the land. Li Xiao was similarly just as strong, he was not a native of southern border, but came from eastern sea. He was an unscrupulous merchant famous among the demonic path members, most skilled at finding opportunities to buy low and sell high. His network and human relationships were wide, many demonic Gu masters' loot were sold off by him. As for Mo Wu Tian, he is even scarier. He inherited a mysterious inheritance of an ancient Gu immortal, and was the #1 rising star of the demonic path, an absolute young genius. Be it Lin Sanqi, Li Xian, or Mo Wu Tian, they are all rank 4 Gu masters. These famous people are all related to that demoness. The members of 10 Tyrant heard this and went pale, their hearts palpitating with fear. I'll tell you one last time, this is not Nan Mountain. Sigh, I asked you all to use your brains often and learn from mistakes, but you refuse to listen. Sigh, this 3 kings' inheritance is not a small matter. Who knows how many formidable characters would show up? Tyrant Hang Mei sighed as he said. The other brothers looked at each other, speechless. Tyrant Hang Mei saw that the time was right and changed the topic, but no need to worry, on Xianxia Mountain now, the rank 4 and 5 Gu masters are restraining each other, no one dares to act rashly. We the 10 tyrants of Nan Mountain are not to be trifled with. We cannot take this lying down, let's go, accompany me to find the black and white demons. Boss, you're going personally to find the black and white demons? Someone expressed shock. Boss, you are rank 4 middle stage, a senior of the demonic path, when you were roaming in the world, they were still babies. That's right, boss, we'll go and ask them to come. You giving them an audience is their honor. Humph, what do you know? Tyrant Hang Mei chided, the black and white demons are so young. The fact that they did not attack you this time means they know of my name, and know how to hold back. But they are youngsters, they love their face. If I put down my ego and go to meet them personally, it is giving them full respect. Next, if I mention working together and come up with a plan to deal with who may err, they are sure to agree. He. Boss, I understand. You are using them as the vanguard. Boss, you are a genius. This black and white demons are only around 20 years old, they are too young. Now, they and who may err are at odds, if they hear your suggestion, they would be extremely thrilled. Once boss plans, it truly is phenomenal. The 10 tyrant members started bootlicking their boss. Ha ha ha. Tyrant Hang Mei laughed loudly, waving his hand, brother, come with me to visit the black and white demons. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing looked up at Xianxia Mountain Peak. This Xianxia Mountain has a peculiar design, from the mountain foot, it goes up to 3 hills, looking from afar, it resembles a fork with 3 tips, pointing at the sky. Above the 3 peaks are the entrances to the 3 kings' inheritance. Every once in a while, the mountain peak would shoot out 3 beams of light, and allow people to enter. Once the number of people reach an amount, the light pillar to vanish, and the entrance would disappear. After that, Gu masters who failed to pass through the tests would be thrown out from time to time. Of course, there are also many deaths inside the inheritance every time. There is about 8 days till the next opening of the inheritance. Let's find a place to settle down for now. Fang Yuan gave the surroundings a sweeping gaze as he saw a cave in the middle of the mountain waste. Chapter 340, Beaten to a Pulp. Xianxia Mountain was originally a place no one showed interest towards, and was a place Che clan and Zhua clan had interactions. However, since the inheritance opened, it had become extremely lively and there would be people moving through the forests frequently. Clashes and disputes occurred frequently, right now it was still relatively peaceful. Every time the light pillar opened, the entry quota was limited. At that time, it would be a scene of carnage at Xianxia Mountain. To fight for a chance to enter the inheritance, all the Gu masters chose to stay on the mountain. This led to a phenomenon. The stronger the Gu masters, the closer towards the mountain peak they stayed. This caused them to be in a favorable position when the inheritance appeared, since they could much easily rush towards it. The cave Fang Yuan chose was on the middle of the mountain. From the traces around the cave, there was clearly someone living in it. Sure enough, when they got near the cave, a loud and clear voice was transmitted from within the cave. This is my, Mang Kuang's, territory. Get lost, or else you will die a violent death. Haha, Mang Kuang. What crap is that? This place is pretty good, I have taken a liking to it, get lost. Fang Yuan laughed outside the cave and issued an ultimatum. Screw your mother, you want it the hard way. Since you are looking to die, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Following the voice, a burly man walked out of the cave. His upper body was bare, he was wearing a worn-out hemp-knitted shorts, cyan snake scales covered his whole body, his face was covered with long beard, blood veins showed on his eyes, and his black hair fell down his head in disarray. He walked out of the cave looking like a furious fiend. Two blind fools, eh? Mang Kuang looked at Fang and Bai, he was cursing with his rough voice when suddenly his pupils shrunk and his jaw opened wide. His gaze revealed a bewildered expression. You too, could you be the black and white twin demons? What do you think? Bai Ningbing laughed faintly, her blue eyes flashing with killing intent. Mang Kuang only felt chills rising from his back and spreading over his body in seconds. Black and white twin demons were rank 4 Gu masters, while he was only at rank 3 upper stage. Moreover, he had heard about how these two killed without blinking their eyes, and how cruel their methods were. Damn it! I have been hiding here without doing anything, what did I do to deserve this? This really is misfortune dropping from the sky. Mang Kuang's thoughts were in disorder. In an instant, the vicious face suddenly changed, the raised eyebrows drooped, the wide-opened eyes narrowed down to a slit, the bent corner of his lips immediately rose up into a smile. He did everything he could to show his goodwill. It is my greatest fortune in this life for both lords to take a liking to my cave. Mang Kuang bent his back and rubbed his hands, giving a flattering smile towards Fang and Bai. His body was tall and robust, but when he shrunk down and bent his back, his original rampant domineering aura immediately disappeared into oblivion. This matched with his boorish appearance was simply like a clown fiesta. You are sensible, you can get lost now. Fang Yuan waved his hand. Yes, yes, yes. Mang Kuang seemed to have received an amnesty as he slipped out and immediately ran far away. After forcing out Mang Kuang, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing entered the cave together. The cave was already arranged properly by Mang Kuang and they did not need to waste their energy to make any arrangements. Xianxia Mountain is filled with danger, we will take turns to stay guard at night for the next 8 days. If one sleeps, the other must be awake. Fang Yuan warned Bai Ningbing. Naturally. Bai Ningbing nodded. Hui Meier won't leave it at that, we will be facing constant troubles in these 8 days. However, it is also good that these people are sending themselves to us, we can establish our might and that matches with our intention. Fang Yuan had just finished saying this when a voice came from outside the cave. Are black and white twin demons inside? I am Tyrant Heng Mei, I have long looked forward to meeting you too. This time, I especially came in to pay a visit. Tyrant Heng Mei? Isn't he the boss of 10 tyrants? I heard he is very cruel, cultivates strength path, likes to eat little children's flesh and has spread fear over Nanshan. Bai Ningbing glanced at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan sneered inside. He had planned to go find trouble with this Tyrant Heng Mei, but to think the latter actually dropped in himself. The two walked out of the cave and looked at the 8 people standing outside the cave. At the front was a robust body, bare and flat chest, black chest hair growing all over his chest. A dense aura of rank 4 middle stage was let out from all over his body. However, This demonic path's figure famous for his savageness was wearing a smile right now. When he saw Fong and Bai, he immediately cupped his hands and one could only take him as an elegant black bear at first glance. To think the black and white twin demons had such large background. Tyrant Hang Mei had intentionally spoken in a loud voice and attracted the attention of many nearby Gu masters. Even Tyrant Hang Mei came to pay a visit to them personally. Many were surprised. Fortunately, I ran out. When did Tyrant Hang Mei become so polite? Mang Kuang still had not run far away. Right now he touched his chest and felt the lingering fear. Tyrant Hang Mei, it is good you came, I was just about to visit you. Fong Yuan responded. Tyrant Hang Mei's smile became even deeper, thinking Fong Yuan was going to pay a visit to him. But who knew Fong Yuan's next words immediately caused his smile to stiffen. I heard you are also a strength path Gu master, let's enjoy a battle of life and death and determine who is stronger. I, Fong Zheng, am walking the strength path and am going to become the number one in the strength path. Hand over your life. Finished speaking, Fong Yuan activated his Gu and directly launched an assault at Tyrant Hang Mei. What? Tyrant Hang Mei came back to his senses, he was startled and also furious. He had broken the tradition and came to pay a visit, but to think this Fong Zheng was an ungrateful guy and attacked him without saying anything further. What kind of person is this? Is this still a person? The nerves in his brain are jumbled up, right? Fong Yuan did not care about his thoughts as he charged quickly towards Tyrant Hang Mei. All-out effort Gu. Without saying any words, he directly attacked. Grr. A brown bear phantom appeared from behind him. Violent strength Gu. Tyrant Hang Mei opened his eyes with anger, he did not dodge put his arms up to block head-on. With the activation of violent strength Gu, his body enlarged and increased his strength sharply. Bam! Fong Yuan fiercely smashed into Tyrant Hang Mei, sending the latter back by 5 steps while he, himself, bounced back from the terrifying strength. Tyrant Hang Mei was at rank 4 middle stage and commanded the other 9 members of 10 tyrants. He had lorded over Nan Mountain for many years and had deep foundations. Humph. Little beast king, I gave you face but you don't know what's good for you. Tyrant Hang Mei shouted, but he did not take the initiative to attack. He was at rank 4 middle stage and knew he was stronger after crossing one move with Fong Yuan since the latter was only at rank 4 initial stage. However, there was not only one rank 4 on the scene, there was also Bai Ningbing who was standing there. Tyrant Hang Mei was sure of winning against Fong Zheng, but it would be very difficult for him to fight against 2. Tyrant Hang Mei, why are you being so careful? Bai Ningbing, you deal with the others, Tyrant Hang Mei is mine. Fong Yuan laughed loudly and shrugged his shoulders before charging towards Tyrant Hang Mei again. I will give you 5 minutes, if you can't finish it by then, I will take over. Bai Ningbing slightly raised her brows, her blue eyes flashing with sharp light. Boastful juniors. Hearing Fong and Bai's casual conversation, Tyrant Hang Mei felt his anger was about to burst out. He had a violent temperament, he already outdid himself by maintaining his patience till now. Knowing that the situation was hard to improve, he threw away his other thoughts and let the murderous aura in his mind surge forth. Fight! 2 sides collided. Fong Yuan against Tyrant Hang Mei while Bai Ningbing suppressed the remaining members of the 10 tyrants. It was a chaotic battlefield. Boulders were smashed, mountain creeks ran dry, caves collapsed, and there were sounds of thunder-like explosions. Tyrant Hang Mei became more fearful. Fong Yuan possessed bitter strength Gu, his strength and fighting strength grew the more injuries he suffered. When he crossed moves against Fong Yuan just before, he had thought the so-called Little Beast King was no more than that. Reaching the halfway stage, his expression turned grave. And when Fang Yuan burst out with 6 beast phantoms at the same time, Tyrant Heng Mei's face lost color. This Little Beast King, how could he be so strong? Not only is his Gu worm combination superior to mine, he also has plentiful battle experience. How did he live to have such skillful and ruthless moves? There is not even a shadow of a young person in him. He is simply a 100-year-old monster. No wonder he acts so overbearingly. With such strength, even I would have no worries in acting like this. I have failed bad this time. I must retreat. Fang Yuan met frontal attacks with swift and fierce strikes, like a fierce tiger leaving the mountain or a flood dragon overturning the seas. Tyrant Heng Mei was gasping, his energy and blood were in disorder from Fang Yuan's attacks. The main point was, every time Fang Yuan suffered injuries, he would become stronger. Now, Tyrant Heng Mei was already not able to continue fighting against Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan became even stronger, that would be too horrible. Every time Tyrant Heng Mei thought of this, his fighting spirit decreased by a little. As the fight continued, he did not dare to attack at all. There were clear opportunities to attack Fang Yuan, but he started hesitating. What should I do, attack or not? With such thoughts, how could he fight well? Tyrant Heng Mei was slowly falling into a passive situation. Fang Yuan, however, had let go of all his apprehension. His attacks were like the tides, coming waves after waves, continuous and endless. Beast phantoms flashed one after another in the air. There would be violent sounds every time Fang Yuan attacked. The explosive sounds came again and again. All the people who heard it felt their hearts throb in fear. What kind of fierce offense is this? Even a formidable senior like Tyrant Heng Mei is not Fang Zheng's match. Fang Zheng is clearly at rank 4 initial stage, but he is suppressing the middle stage Tyrant Heng Mei. Little Beast King. Many people were secretly observing the battle and thought over this nickname of Fang Yuan. Who is the tyrant here? Mang Kuang felt quite helpless. He could tell Fang Yuan was more brutish and more unreasonable than Tyrant Heng Mei. The fiendish Tyrant Heng Mei paled in comparison to Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng, don't go too far. Tyrant Heng Mei spurted out blood, his chest, arms and legs were all completely fractured. He wanted to retreat, but Fang Yuan had already seen through his plan. Bai Ningbing killed the other members of the 10 tyrants and firmly locked him down. Howl, howl, howl. Howl, howl, howl. Fang Yuan pointed his finger. 6 large beast phantoms turned into solid forms and fell down from the sky, submerging Tyrant Heng Mei. Bam! A loud sound echoed and dust scattered everywhere. Tyrant Heng Mei was beaten to a pulp, his internal organs and bone fragments splattered over the ground. Gasp! Countless sharp inhaling noises could be heard from the surroundings.